Okay, this is the intro to robotics unit, video 1. For this one, we're going to start by taking a look at our learning goals here. For this unit, I want you to be able to identify the basic components of a robot. I want you to be able to discuss how robots affect our society, and I want you to be able to identify various VEX components, since we'll be using the VEX system. So let's go ahead and get started. So a robot is something that's programmable. That means you can use a computer to write a code and the robot will follow that. It's a mechanical device and it performs tasks. It will interact with its environment if it has sensors on it, and hopefully it can do this without the aid of human interaction. Some robots are controlled by humans though. Robotics then is the science and technology behind the design, manufacturing, and application of robots. Okay, so first off, some basic components. The first part we have is the body or the frame. Basically, this is called the chassis. And this is going to hold all of the robot's components together. Think of it like the backbone. So the chassis then, it's going to hold the drivetrain, it's going to hold your lifting mechanism, it's going to hold your computer, it's going to hold your battery. So it's very, very important that when you design a robot that you think of a way to keep the chassis as strong as possible. The next area is your control system. You can think of this as like the brain of the robot. Which is basically a computer, but it's a small computer, a microcomputer. And this microcomputer then holds the programming. By this, I mean it holds the code that you will write on the computer. So using the computer, you will write out a code. You will then attach the computer to the microcomputer on your robot with a data cable, and then transfer that code over to the microcomputer on the robot, and then the computer then will execute or perform the code you've written. So what that means is that the microcomputer will take data from your sensors, and then it will process it and then follow the code that you've written. The next main feature is your manipulators. Think of this as like the hands of the robot. So what manipulators are then are devices that interact with the environment. Environment being, any game pieces, the floor, if there's walls, the environment, not so much nature, but just whatever's around your robot. The manipulator then will move objects within the environment and within the robot. Next, we have the drivetrain. Think of this as like the feet of your robot. And this simply moves the robot from place to place. So, we want to ask ourselves, where do we find robots in today's society? And truth be told, we find them everywhere. A big place will be shipping yards. Today we have robots the size of semi-trucks, and they are completely autonomous. They drive around the shipping yards, carrying the crates from the ships to other trucks for driving them around the country. These are sophisticated enough that they sense when they're damaged, and they will drive to the garage for repairing. So shipping yards is one place where you'll find a lot of huge robots. Another place will be warehouses. In warehouses, we have small robots, which basically do the same thing as the ones on the shipping yard. They go around the floor, they pick up small parcels, and they drive them around, and then, basically organizing. Not all robots are physical. There's one called Watson. Watson is a computer program, and what Watson does is it sifts through all of the medical research out there, and it tries to find links between basically medications. So to see if one medication has, if it interacts badly with another. I mean, there are thousands and thousands of medications out there. Watson also looks through medical research to make connections. So Watson is a very, very useful, almost artificial intelligence. It's not quite artificial intelligence because it can't think for itself, but it's a very unique program. So it's like a virtual robot. Another place where you'll find them, self-driving cars. A self-driving car is a robot. Uber is recently rolling out a series of self-driving cars to basically act as taxis. So there are many, many other places, and this is something we'll discuss in class. I'll have you do some research to find out some other places where you can find robots in our society. This concludes our first video.